All right, what is up, Gooder Gang? It is Wednesday. You know what that means? It's time for that 3-minute countdown. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Mr. Phil Breeden, along with our top category winners for the CBA, just ahead of the CBA World Championship. Let's get this started, shall we?
Hey everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC BBQ, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
It's a what?
So Smokin' Gooder Show.
It is a So Smokin' Gooder Show. All right. Are you ready? Yep. You can handle this? There we go. 3.
I'm First Class Barbecue Robert Smith, and you're watching the So Smoker Gooder Show.
You said it wrong, dummy. Do it again.
So Smoking Gooder Show.
One more time.
So Smoking Gooder Show.
That is right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. You know what time it is. It is Wednesday, just after 8 o'clock on January 11th, 2023. Can you believe we're in 2023, Case, already?
Where the hell were you?
I was making you sweat. Like you make me sweat.
Sound check person I know.
Well, there you go. Well, sound check is working. You look great. You sound great. The only guy we got to worry about is Mr. Robert Smith, that they're working on that right now. What is up, Gooder Gang? I appreciate you guys finding us, however you're finding us, on YouTube or on Facebook or on the Twitches. We appreciate that. We have a jam-packed show for you tonight. It is championship week. Yes, it is the first one of the year. CBA World Championships are happening this weekend in Seguin, Texas. So we've got a jam-packed CBA-centered show tonight because we're going to be celebrating and highlighting some of the guys that kicked ass all year long, including our 2022 Team of the Year, Mr. Phil Breeden from LC BBQ. He's going to be on here to kick off the show. We're going to be featuring Phil, and then a little later in the show, we're going to have our top category champions for chicken. We got Texas Sweet Heat Barbecue for ribs. We've got First Class Barbecue for brisket. Is God's Country Barbecue, and pork is yours truly, So Smoking Gooder Show, or Bullhorn Barbecue. So jam-packed show tonight. But before we get to any and all that, let me introduce you to my show partner, Mr. Case Hahn. What is up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, man? How are y'all? Glad everybody could join us tonight, at least for the first half and enjoyable part of this show.
Yeah, are you gonna bow out once we get
Pretty
everybody?
sure you told me I wasn't invited.
I did not say you weren't invited. I was just saying, and you mentioned, hey,
everyone who's watching, he told me I wasn't invited. So
not true. You know that is not true.
But I will be in the comments, so get your popcorn ready. I have mine right here.
Oh, you literally do have popcorn. Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Yes. Hour number 2. I'll be in the comments.
Holiday popcorn at its finest, right there.
This is the never-ending popcorn bucket in our house.
What's taking charge there? Is it the caramel? It's got to go first.
Yeah, it's got the bigger category.
Caramel is always good. And then what else is in there? Cheddar.
We got a cheddar, and then we have the classic butter,
All right.
which is by far the most boring of the three. So.
No. I was going to go caramel, butter, and then cheddar. Cheddar is just.
Well, you're not normal. So how about that?
Hey,
What's
shout
up,
out to
Rob?
the people that support us. The guys that are watching. Daddy Dutch Barbecue is always in first. Carlos Calzada is in the house. Kevin Hernandez, congratulations. I saw this man last weekend. Let's see. Michael Sistruck with the best strut in the game. Mario, what is up? That's a new name. How are you? Welcome. Sean Strader, hello. Jared McCrory. Jaime Garza. Greg Minotti. Barry the Bone. Charles Tant is watching from Wichita Falls. Roy Velasquez. Dustin Stanley from the barbecue store in Hempstead. Hashtag where you go to win. That he is watching right now. Sean Trainer, what's up, my man? Yes, this thing is on. At least there's music. Can you see it? Yes, there. We're on. Sebastian, that's a new name. Thank you very much. Gooder Gang, drop some likes. Yes. Hey, listen to Sebastian. He is wise. Drop some likes on here. Let's get it. Willie Richards. I missed her and interrupt. Yes. What's up, Shorty Shorts? Danny Regan. All right. You is in the house. Adam. All right. We got a lot of people watching already. Mark Suarez, Adam Martinez, Jamie Roby. Shout out to Jamie Roby last week and Tammy Roby. They came on. They kicked off our 2023 guest lineup. And what a fine job they did. That was fun getting to really get to know them a little more personally. I didn't realize how long they've been together. I didn't realize they were have a military background. He does have a smoker fetish. He likes to buy some smokers. Is it a fetish?
No, I'm walking away.
Is that the wrong word?
I'm just going to go away from.
That might be the wrong word.
Addiction.
Okay, addiction. Yeah. That could be a good one.
Get away with fetish. It's whatever.
Addiction probably is the correct word that we're doing here. Tim Kirkendall, what's up? I saw Brian Fox in the comments. Terry Breeden, Miss the real Mrs. Not the real, but the original Mrs. Breeden. She's in the house watching her son, about to come on here in just a minute. Case, what else you got going on? This is going to be my first contest in 5 weeks, which used to be the norm, but now I feel like I'm going to be rusty or at least out of practice, but I feel like I'm okay because most teams haven't cooked that are going to Seguin since that time, but there are a few that have cooked. There's been a couple of events. But
I'm currently embracing carving with chainsaws because I realize I don't have the skill set to win War Pigs trophies after seeing did you see the carved chainsaw carved trophies?
I did.
So I think I'm going to embrace that in the backyard and start carving up my own trophies and see if I can just make my own. And so, yeah, like the other ones were, all the trophies were pretty sweet, but those things are pretty badass. I'm not sure anyone, I didn't know anyone could have that kind of skill set. Plus, you know where that cook-off is at?
Was that the Tomball VFW?
There
I do
you
know what it is.
go.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just had to sneak that in. So those nice folks at the Tomball VFW can drink and throw on a cook-off. So we just want to make sure that those nice people are drinking tonight. So
yeah, I'm not sure who did the chainsaw trophies. Somebody that has way more talent than we do. But hey, shout out to James Minotti from Minotti Woodcrafters for putting those awesome trophies he's got going on there. So
James does some phenomenal work, and he's right here in the great town. He's by far way more talented than I am, and so he's way more claim to fame to the great city of Dickinson than I probably ever will be. He actually made a full box of retirement gift that I bought, so I ordered one for myself, and he sent me a note one night. He's like, "Hey, these are ready, and I'll be at my house till like 6:30." And I was like, "Man, I'm up in Tomball. I'm hauling ass because I got to be at my kid's Christmas play at the True Cross Catholic School." And he goes, "I think we're going to the same place. I'll just bring it there."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Austin, man, just phenomenal work. Excited for those guys. I'm told my report is there's plenty of room at the Tomball VFW. And so 60 teams, but I think they can take in a few more, and looking forward to that one. So.
All right. That same weekend is Hold'em and Hit'em, but we'll go over that in the upcoming events segment a little later in the show. But let's get to it. Are you ready? We're talking CBA today. Case, you had to bring up another organization. I see what you're doing there.
It was a business decision for me to bring up the cook-off there. So
a business decision. So somebody put you up to bringing this up is what you're saying. Look at that smile you got on your face. Okay, Case, I see how this works with you. All right, well, yes, there is a new clip. I did not have time to get that together, so we will get that. So he'll have to do it live. We're going to do it live, Phil Breeden. There he is. Let's just change that.
All
Phil
week,
Breeden.
I just wanted to see the new clip, Rob.
Well, I'm sorry to let you down.
He was late to his own show.
Yeah. Actually, my dog tripped everything. I went total darkness, and but we got it going.
1 minute I'm backstage taking notes, listening to all the CBA guys talk. Next minute, Rob decided to start the damn show. So,
Case, you and I are going to talk later about this little hijacking of the beginning of the show. We'll talk about that later. But right now, we're talking Phil Breeden. Phil, look at that scroll down there. It says Phil Breeden, LC BBQ 2022 CBA Team of the Year. What does that mean to you, man? How you like seeing that down there?
Man, it's awesome. I mean, it's something I never expected this year.
As I pull it away. Yep.
It's kind of, I guess, almost a bonus. I mean, I had no plans of that. And, me and Paul were back and forth those last, 4 weeks or whatever. So, man, it was exciting. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. So you've done multiple sanctioning bodies. This isn't obviously your first. You've done some IBCA. You were IBCA Team of the Year at one point. You also did some KCBS events quite a bit. You pushed that. Was it last year, the year before? You went at it pretty hard.
Yeah, 21.
A lot of Lone Star under your belt. This is the second year of the organization. You are already the Team of the Year, with a lot of quality teams that have come over to the CBA to cook these events. Again, that seems, and you kind of mentioned you weren't kind of looking at it, going at it, but tell me about when you found yourself really wanting to push for this thing.
Yeah, so I didn't really, I guess going into 22, I mean, I had no immediate mindset of a goal. I just knew I wanted to cook in Texas quite a bit more after cooking 40 KCBS events in 2021. I was pretty burnt out on travel and all that mess. So it was good to get back to cooking in Texas. Early on, I did the Lone Star Barbecue Society Cody cook-off, which was a qualifier, and I won that guy, which gave me, and that was either in January or early February. I think it was late January last year. I won that cook-off, and that was my second bung. So I kind of looked at that and said, man, I got two. Man, why don't that be the goal for this year? Try to win 7 and go to the Jack. And that just all kind of fell in place for me. And all I was doing was chasing state championships, qualifiers, Jack bungs. And in I think I got my 7th in June off the top of my head, and then kind of looked around and I'm like, oh, now what's the goal? Obviously getting prepared for the Royal and the Jack was on the agenda, but man, I just kind of, I started kind of chasing some CBA events is where I found myself. I looked at the standings. I was first in Lone Star pretty much all last year, and I think I cooked my last one in July, and I didn't cook anymore the rest of the year because I was sitting first in Lone Star, and I don't remember where I was in CBA somewhere in the summer. I think I was in the top 10. I'm like, man, let me see if I could. I kind of wanted to win Team of the Year in both of them. That was actually my goal, but it didn't work out that way. I ended up third in Lone Star and first in CBA. So, yeah, man, I just kind of shifted focus late in the year when it got so close between me and Paul to CBA and tried to seal the deal on that. That's kind of how it played out.
Yeah. Case, you got a question for me? I'm going to have some comments out here. Mark Suarez.
Mark.
I'm still struggling with the 40 KCBSs in the year. But the, as from a cook standpoint, was staying closer to home, would just travel in general? Also, travel got pretty expensive this past year. Did that play into it?
Oh, definitely. In 21, fuel prices didn't really hit the fan until, I guess, midway through the year or late into the year. It seems like around the summertime really started feeling the pinch, and diesel was like $4 then, but when I'd go up to Wyoming or somewhere in the Midwest, Colorado, it was like $5. So it was already climbing. And man, it was everything I could do just to finish out the year with KCBS. And yeah, it got super expensive with $5 diesel.
Right.
I spent over 30. I spent between $35,000 and $40,000 on diesel in 21. So yeah, it got stupid expensive.
We've asked you this before, and I think we had the question, where do you keep going? What drives you? I think you always said, is it still just as fun as it always has been? You got even more events under your belt since the last time we had this conversation. You've got Cook of the Year, 2 big sanctioning bodies, and, lots of travel. Where you still wake up and prep meat, and is it still just exciting, or when have you considered transitioning to? You've got a hell of a barbecue business growing too.
Yeah, business is good. Obviously, me on the circuit, competing, be in front of people and winning definitely helps the business. But man, if that was all it was, I wouldn't still be doing it. But man, I still enjoy it. I miss it like during the holidays, Thanksgiving through Christmas and all that. There wasn't hardly any cook-offs. And man, for like 3 weeks, I just didn't know what day it was. There was no routine to it. And finally, we did that pitching in the pines on New Year's, which was kind of a bonus. Normally, we don't have one on New Year's weekend. And, man, I was so happy to get back to cooking. I mean, to me, that's my job. That's what I do. So it provides structure in my life, but I don't look at it as a job. I'm getting older. My body's starting to break down. It's harder on me cooking so much. But I'm going to do it as long as that fire's still burning.
Yeah, you're definitely. I said it in the promos leading up to this, is that you finished 2022 obviously as high as you could, and you've already started 23. So things are looking just steady and straight. Somebody mentioned, let's see where it was, that basically you finished in the team of the year without winning a category. You were right there though. You're right there with pork. It took the last weekend of the season to do that, but yeah, you're just continuing to go, and knowing you don't settle. Talk about whenever you think things are maybe changing or people catching up to you, to where you'll take a left turn, or you'll kind of steer off what you've been doing to stay above the game. I think that's really what's keeping you as one of the top cookers in the state and in the country for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's a fluid sport, so I don't think anything stays the same. In my brain, I never think, oh man, I made it, and then we're just going to coast and do that forever. Inside of me, I'm always thinking, not necessarily how to make my barbecue better, but obviously how to make it hit more. My goal is always have top 5 meats. Not necessarily win categories, but man, if I'm in the top 5 in my meats, man, I'm normally in pretty good shape. So that's kind of my goal, to keep my meats in that range. And if I feel like something's kind of falling off to where I'm 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. And I know I need to shift my focus on that and get it back in the top 5. And I keep my meets in the top 5, and things work out pretty well for me. So that's kind of my mindset going into it week to week to week. Being a fluid sport, man, I'm always trying to figure out that angle. And you said left turn. Man, I don't think it's ever a left turn, but man, I might put my blinker on and pass somebody, so it's a little bit more gentle than hard turns for me.
Sure. Yeah.
You can get there with just minor tweaks or whatnot.
Yeah, you were actually one of the earliest guests on this show from 5 years ago by pure accident. I think you walked in one night at bull printing and became a get the early
episode
days of the
7.
show.
Episode 7.
Yeah,
I think it was earlier than that.
So we've known you for a long time, obviously. Back in the day when we would just shoot the shit, drink a beer after a cook-off, you were every step you always had. Are you still as detail oriented when you do make changes, things like that, or are you finally settled in on a rhythm? Because back in the day, man, you documented the shit out of stuff.
Yeah, I still do. Arnie Segovia taught me that back in the day. I used to not document as well as I do, and I felt like I had it all right here. And I was at Leander, and I think it was in 2018. And Arnie's like, Phil, you got to write that stuff down. And man, when somebody of Arnie's caliber talks to you and tells you that, and man, I took it to heart. So I started writing things down, and I'm glad I did, because man, there's no way I could tell you what I was doing 3 years ago, but I've got it documented. So yes, I can. And when I'm trying new stuff or whatever, man, I document. Yeah, I'm super detailed. Kind of the worst things that can happen to you is, man, you try something new. Oh, I do this or whatever. And man, you hit first place with it and you can't remember what you did. You think you can, but you can't. So whatever I'm trying, I'm making notes, and obviously, man, I'm developing new products too. So, while I get in a rhythm on things, man, I get bored too. So I'm always trying to, if this makes any kind of sense, is come up with a product to, kind of beat my old products. They all work and everything kind of comes in phases. So the grind never ends.
Yeah, you talked about your events that you've done. I know you know them, and I'd like to hear them, because people, I think that it's, I know when I hear them, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's impressive. Talk about your rise from, when Case was talking about 2017, whenever you came up with us to the show, but talk about how many events have you done since then? I know how
many events in when? Since
in each year, 2018, 19.
Yeah, I don't know. I started cooking in 2015, and the first year I did around a dozen. The next year, it seems like it was less, maybe 10. And 2017, I think I probably did like 14. So the first 3 years I cooked, I was doing, 12 to 15 a year. And in 2018, I just started, I had no intentions of that. It's kind of how some of my goals start, like CBA Team of the Year this year. That wasn't a goal, but, goals develop as the year goes on. I cooked Hold'em and hit them in January of 2018. And I don't remember the next weekend. I cooked somewhere the next weekend. I cooked somewhere the next weekend. I'm like, man, you think in your head, that's 2 weekends in a row. And back then it seemed hard. And then it's 3 weekends in a row, and then 4, then 5. And then, man, that's kind of how my, I guess, internal competitive meter works. Is all of a sudden I'll see something like, man, that's 5 in a row. Well, how many in a row can I do? Next thing you know, it's 37 in a row. And I ended up cooking 50 contests in 2018. Then I cooked 50 in 2019. Obviously, in 2018, I released Foul Play, so now I have a business. I cooked 50 in 2019. COVID hit in 20, and it was hard to find cook-offs. I still found 35 of them, though. I cooked 35 and 20. 21, I cooked 50. And in 22, I cooked 51. So this past year was the most I've ever cooked in a year, and it was 51.
I want to throw one. Yeah, I want to throw one at you, Phil. So, we know you watch the show because someone reminds us to play the clip on a regular basis.
It's the second best. It's the second best clip on this show. Next to yours.
God damn it!
What's first? Sorry, Case. What's your question, Case?
So, week after week, there's a lot of people that come on the show, and we ask the question, how'd you get here? How'd you come along? And, in the last couple of years, especially the last couple of years, a lot of people come on this show and they say, Phil's helped me a ton. I've taken Phil's class. Let's go back to 2015. When you were a young cook, who were some of these cooks, and maybe they're not even on the circuit anymore, but was there any cooks that kind of that you would show up at an event and go, man, for a lot of people, you're pulling in and you've been such a wealth of knowledge for so many cooks, and week in and week out, people come on here and they thank you for your knowledge, your friendship, and your classes and everything and your products. Let's go back 7-8 years ago when you were young, when you were doing those 10, 12 events and those cooks, was there some cooks that you mentioned Arnie earlier, but were there some cooks that, inspired you or helped you out?
Yeah, for sure. Just getting into it, a good friend of mine, Rob Rogers, is the one who really got me into competition barbecue. We were, hanging out at the deer camp and cooking. Allie wants to come on the show. So.
Oh, I thought that was my dog. I was like, shut him up. Go ahead.
So, we were cooking at the deer camp that fall in 2014 quite a bit. And, he mentioned to me, man, you ought to do a cook-off. And, man, I didn't even know they existed. And he said, yeah, man, there's one next month at the Honky Tonk in Silsbee. So that Silsbee Go Texan was my first cook-off in January of 2015. He signed us up. We cooked it together, and man, it was all kind of a whirlwind to me. He's like, man, I'm gonna go get the boxes. I'm like, what boxes? And he's like, oh, they got little tickets on it. I'm like, what do you do with that? And he's like, well, you got to keep them and don't lose them. So everything was just so new to me. And
what'd you season it with?
Shit, if I know.
Panther.
Just Panther.
Real quick. You got your own YouTube.
We didn't use Just Panther, but our T-shirt said Just Panther.
You got your own YouTube channel here. What's up? Shout out to Leprechaun TV. They're coming to check you out.
Oh, we got YouTube on there. Who we got on YouTube?
You got Leprechaun TV. I thought you brought them on. Look at that. They know what's up. LC
has to be family.
Madwood, Daddy Dutch. Nice. They're all here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, Rob got me into that, and I grew up in Sour Lake, Texas. That was where we lived before we moved to Bandera almost 3 years ago. So Southeast Texas, near Beaumont. And the group of guys that I kind of grew up cooking with were, Kevin Miller is from that area. DJ Vise, Derek Vise and CJ Vise, Corey Nelson, those guys is kind of, they all cooked in that area. They did competition. Jeff Hill, half of a good barbecue. I hope you're watching, Jeff. Mom will like that. Yeah. So anyway, those guys are who kind of introduced me to the sport and helped me early on, like with such basic knowledge. I really didn't know anything about competition barbecue. And then, as the first few years, Case, to answer your question, went by, yeah, man. Craig Sherry was doing well back then. Obviously, Ernest was doing really well. So Fred was still a few years ahead of me and doing really well. It's the guys that kind of stick out in my brain. If you name more from that era, it would probably stick. I can remember cooking Buna, and I think it was that year. So I think Buna Redbud Festival was maybe my second cook-off. I remember Butterworth being there, and, the guys were like, oh, yeah, it's Dennis. Come meet Dennis. And he was developing his sauce at that time. And, man, I remember sitting by a campfire listening to Dennis, and I'm like, man, that's one of the pros. You know what I mean? Because that's my second cook-off. He'd been doing it for 4 or 5 years. And so those things change as you cook. And
I bet old crazy Robert Smith was cooking around there too.
Man, no, the first time I can remember the first time I cooked against Robert Smith, and it was at Chigger Hill in Huntsville, Texas. And I want to say it was 2016, and he won that contest. And, man, don't think I didn't forget it. I'm like, man, who's that first class guy? So, yeah, that became immediately like, man, I got to catch up with that guy. So, man, anytime I see anybody that I felt was better than me, man, I'm going after all of them. So, and over the years, like I said, it changed on that list, but yeah.
Well, hey, we're not yet, but we got the guys that that we're going to be also celebrating. They're waiting in the wings, but we're going to get to those. I just want to give them a heads up, guys. If you have questions, I saw a good question from Tim, and we'll ask Phil a little later on that. Do you think half chicken will continue, or will you turn in thighs for CBA? But hey, we're going to have a roundtable. We'll have those kind of questions here in just a minute once we get Robert Smith, AJ Garza, Reyes, Sepulveda in. He'll say it right. I try. He'll say it right. Sepulveda. There you go. I did it. Almost. But Phil, let's talk about some of the people always want to know what's new for LC BBQ, because you are very successful. A lot of teams on the circuit are using your product. A lot of teams are taking your class. Bill just had a good question. Who took your first class? You can answer that in just a second. But so yeah, lots of teams use your product. I bet you everybody watching has at least tried an LC BBQ product, because they've been on the market for since 2017, like you mentioned. But what's new? It's always fun. I always love the names that you name your products. But I know you got some new ones coming out. I don't know if you want to tell everybody, but you have recently released Butt Hurt. That's been doing really well on the circuit. But what else is coming out? What's new on the horizon for LC BBQ? What can they expect to see, if anything, here in the new next couple months?
Yeah, for sure. So, and they're all kind of coming together pretty quick here. I've got 4 products that I've been developing over the past, some of them 3 months, some of them 5 months. And I've got my goal over the past month or so, tidying up these products between art and labels and just all the details that go into that, and then the lead times of getting that, then getting them filled. So in my mind, I wanted to release, at least 2, maybe even 3. No, I don't think I'll get to the 4th, and I actually have a 5th. But I do feel like I'll have 3 products released in the first quarter of 23, and that's just really how they all fell together. I don't normally have that many at one time, and they'll be staggered just between how they finished up with art and everything. But so we're excited to say that we'll have phosphates on the market very soon. That we're really excited about that. They should be out within 6 to 8 weeks. And then we've got 2 rubs that I feel confident that will be by the end of first quarter 23. And we'll be throwing some teasers out there on the Facebook, LC BBQ Facebook page, and on social media. So, please stay tuned. And we'd love to hear what you guys might think those names might be. I mean, they're already stamped, but you never know.
If you got a prediction, and if you were in the class recently, do not throw out your prediction.
There you go, Rob. I did share with we had an awesome class this past weekend. And I did share some privy information to that on the releases with those guys, because we are excited about it.
Any sauces or glazes on the horizon? Somebody's asking.
Man, great question, CB. After, I've got my focus. I've been just really grinding on these, getting them nailed down and getting everything right. And I told Carmen, man, as soon as I get these out, like when that's done, I will shift all my focus over to sauces and glazes, because that is next on the agenda. I don't know how long that'll take. I mean, we might get lucky and that be a 6-month process, or it might be 2 or 3 years. I don't know. So we'll see where it goes, but it's on the agenda for sure.
Very nice. Case, you got something you want to ask?
Yeah, no, that's just awesome. I'm trying to figure out, what is there a certain genre, or what meat are you trying to go with? I'm just trying to figure out what kind of name, after we got things like Butt Hurt. I'm just trying to figure out.
It's better than that, Case. Just to, would you agree, Rob?
Yes, they're great.
Is there a certain part of the body that we talking about here? What I mean, just...
according to the Urban Dictionary.
Yes,
it wasn't intentional. It's just the way it worked out. So
they're great.
What comes easier? What comes easier, the formula for said rubs or the names?
It depends. I mean, some have been, have taken less amount of time in development, and a long time to figure out how to market in the names. I would say these past ones, it took quite a while with the names and the marketing and all that. So it's all over the board, Case. It depends. probably half of them have been developed quicker than marketing, and the other half, the marketing was ready in my mind. It just kind of depends on the product and when I get the picture in my head. And I don't put a time limit on that. You know, if it, and I've got one I've been working on for over 3 years. So, you know, when it's ready, it's ready.
You know, your line continues to grow. Is there a goal for LC BBQ? You know, we've had Craig on here. We've had Cosmo on here. We've had the guys that have some just, you know, where do you see that brand going? Is it as far as big as you can go? Is something that you want to stay in a boutique type feel, major retailer? I mean, what is your goal here?
Yeah, so the goal, at least for now and how I envision it, is to keep building the line and keep growing brand recognition. It's always been a goal of mine to never have to re-release a product or have a product fail. That's why it takes me so long, is because I just want it right. I don't feel like you get a do-over. You know, if you release something and it's crap, you know, I really take a lot of time and pride into making sure it's right when it does. So I think that helps build brand recognition of quality products. And, you know, if I release something, man, it's got a purpose and it's good, right? Obviously building a full line of products. I don't have any sauces or glazes yet. Rounding out the line and just growing. My target market is competition barbecue. You know, will that change down the road? Probably. You know, there's a lot more backyard cooks and people just cooking for fun than there are ones spending the money to go do competitions every weekend. However, you know, we all know that, man, the guys in the backyard want to do what the pros are doing. So there's bleed over there. And I think at some point, yeah, you know, Darian has a great business model and he's 10 years ahead of me or maybe longer. And, you know, when I started in this, he wasn't in Buc-ee's or if there is what a, I mean, it seems like you can go just about anywhere and find Cosmos these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I mean, that's a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, so people that are watching that kind of find themselves in a points chase, what advice would you give to these guys to maybe get to the top or get on top? Because some of the competition that we've had this year in the CBA was fierce, and you got to kind of stay on it, do your weekly everything. But you tell them what's the one or two things that you're taking from these multiple points chases that you've been in that would kind of take them to apply? Because a lot of guys say, hey, I would love to be up there, but it takes, you know, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of travel, all of that. But what's one or two things that you can take away from your experiences?
Yeah, so I guess when I'm thinking back, I didn't really think about that, but as you were asking the question, I believe 2018 was the first year I found myself in a points chase. I did 50 cook-offs that year, and if you do 50 cook-offs, you're liable to find yourself in a points race, right? I think I finished fourth in IBCA that year. I'm going off the top of my head. And the next year I cooked 52, you know, or 50 also. And I think I finished fourth that year. I can't remember, something like that. But I know the first year I was in it, man, when it got to like back then, and I don't know if it's changed, but what is IBCA ends June 30th, I think.
Yes.
And like in February, you know, week after week, hey, you log on, you check the standings, see the point movement, and February, March, April, May, June, it was like forever. And I remember the next year, I think Saggy ran, you know, Jason Sagmiller ran for points, and it was about the same time, February or maybe March. And I'm like, dude, don't get excited, man. Wait till about May before you start. You know, you got May and June, the last 2 months, you can have some nerves about it or consume you. But man, that's exhausting when it's like 6 months long in a points chase. So, you know, every year after that, I kind of really didn't pay attention really hard or let it consume me until, man, you're kind of looking at that last 6 to 8 weeks of planning it out and figuring out how you can finish strong. I would say that to first off is just kind of don't let it get to you, and man, have a plan, you know, take it week to week, and you know, they're going to, the chips are going to fall how they fall. So man, I think sometimes you can maybe overexert yourself or try to force things. And I don't think that works out well.
That's some great advice, because already with only 3 contests in for, or maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks in of the new season, 5 weeks, however many it is, people are already looking at the points, and I'm like, it's too early. It's too early. Even I feel it. I'm like, yeah, I don't see my name up there anymore. It's but there's lots of season left to be here. Yeah, Ricky Gonzalez, what's up, dude? He's checking in. Tom Fuentes checking in from YouTube. Phil, is there? He said, yeah, lots. Whenever I was asking what's some good advice, he said a lot of stupid beer. You definitely need a lot of stupid beer. Yeah, Brenda, it is way too early. Brian Fox, points chases suck. Seems like forever until that last month. Yes, and things change quite a bit and fast and furious in that last month. Phil, before I want you to stick around, but when we bring the other guys on, but before we stop this feature of the 2022 Team of the Year, kind of reflect back on that season. What did you take away from this season? Second year of CBA, some of the newer, bigger events that are coming along and have come along. What are your thoughts on the CBA overall right now?
Man, CBA seems to be full steam ahead, man. They're very strong. Only 2 years in, it seems like it's been longer than that, and the growth just continues to, they just keep growing. They got a lot of exciting things. Didn't really know how things would shake out with the new rule changes on December 1st between pork being optional and then chicken having all the different pieces in there or whatever, as opposed to just half chicken and then burn ends. But, man, I think they had a vision, and I think that's working out too, in my opinion. Man, it's causing cooks to think a little harder and try to figure things out as opposed to the same old, same old. So, man, I just see them continuing to grow as long as the CBA continues to make good decisions like they have so far.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you and celebrating you this weekend in Seguin, Texas. Again, I want you to stick around when the guys come on, but I just want to personally thank you for coming on the show and being a supporter and a friend of this show. You've been, like Case mentioned, you were one of the first ones to come when we were doing those live ones with the live monkey and all kinds of things over at the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics Studios.
Yeah. Man, I mean, the show's going downhill, Rob. Do we have a live monkey in a cage right now? No.
No, we got your dog barking. Hey, there are still live animals.
Yeah, she's passed out now.
There are still live animals working here. But man, what a hell of a year, hell of a season. It's been great watching you just continue that arrow is still pointing upward for LC BBQ. You and Carmen are a force on there, and it's fun to see all the things you guys are into, not just the meat categories, but your son's involved. He's a world champion already. Your wife is killing it, alongside of you helping, but also with the ancillaries and the opens, and she's winning world championships as well. It's pretty fun to watch the Breeden family do their thing, man.
I'll get there one day.
I know, man. I don't even have one. You don't? Do you have a world championship? Maybe this weekend.
Maybe so.
Maybe this weekend. She is a world champion. Bill asked who took your first class? Was that Bill?
No. I don't remember. I mean, Bill took a shadow class way back. I know Bill don't mind. He's told a ton of people. Yeah. I do know the first class I held was at Dustin's store, the barbecue store in Hempstead. And I want to say we had 10 people. And man, if y'all want to pop up on the comments and say you were there, that's great. And I can tell you, I can remember at least 3 off the top of my head.
Nice.
Who were there. And if they want to say, they can. I don't normally say, just out of privacy for some folks. People.
How many people have you thrown out of your trailer?
Just one case that I can remember. Like, I love when you tell that story. Tell that story. I don't really remember it. I was focused, and I think I kicked you out nice, didn't I?
Yeah, you could have cut me. You had a knife in your hand. Yeah. It was intimidating enough that I had to come back later to apologize. So you don't pay attention to timing when you have nothing to cook at the American Royal on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's like wrong time, bro. Wrong time. But well, Phil, thank you. Go get you. We're gonna have a little break here for you. Go refill your drink and come back on because we're gonna be joined by the fellow champions. Reyes is coming on, AJ Garza, and we've got Robert Smith waiting. They're gonna be coming on here in just a minute, and I am going to. We're gonna be about 3 to 4 minutes, fellas, and then we'll get you back on. I don't want anybody to go anywhere, but Phil, I'm gonna drop you down, and I'll bring you back up here in just a minute. Any last words before you take your break, because you're gonna come right back on?
Yeah, man, appreciate all the support for LC BBQ, and good luck to everyone going to Seguin this weekend, chasing down that world championship.
All right, there he is. We'll bring the champ back here in just about 4 to 5 minutes. We will bring him back. But I'm going to talk to Case Hahn here in just a minute. There he was, Mr. Phil Breeden, the 2022. That's LC BBQ from Mr. Phil Breeden, 2022 CBA Team of the Year. How awesome is that?
It's just kind of cool to hear. It's a true theme week after week. There's a lot of people that have looked up to Phil, but it's kind of nice to sit back and, at some point Phil had to look up to somebody too. And so he's had a remarkable run. I mean, the level of consistency, not only in performance, but travel and to do it week in and week out. It's pretty wild, man. And so, and he still has, one of the themes, because he's been on here multiple times, is his just sheer enthusiasm for the sport and the industry. I don't think it's changed from day one. I think his beard's more impressive than the first time we saw him. But, it's just kind of wild. We're into this 5 years, and his enthusiasm is, I'm waiting for him one day to come on here and announce and say, and everyone else have a sigh of relief. Phil's going to finally step back and not show up every weekend. Those of you who are watching, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, that the LC BBQ is here to stay for a while.
I tried to hint, Darian stopped doing it. Maybe, just maybe. No.
LC is a big sponsor of the show as well. You can find that at the barbecue store we mentioned, along with Texas Pepper Jelly and Texas Original Charcoal. Aaron Leslie's Texas Oil Dust. You can also find their Cosmos Q products. You can find there. And you cannot find, I've had a lot of people contact me about RecTech. You got to order that online, fellas. You got to go to rectech.com. I think we have a Bullhorn BBQ has a code you can use if you're wanting to do something like that. Of course, we've done the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads for a number of years. That's going to be coming back for 2023. We've got the Clark Compression and Components. Thank you guys. They will be in Seguin as well. That's Tom and Belle Clark. Summer Moreno Insurance. She will also be in Seguin. Eureka Heights Brew Company will be with me. They'll be with me in Seguin. Who else am I? I think I got everybody.
Oh, you're leaving out your fancy cook-off. Your favorite cook-off, but my favorite time of the year.
Where I do not win anything over at the Danny D's Memorial Classic. Yes. Shout out to our great sponsors that support this show. Thank you very much. But Case, you're right. I'm kicking you out.
I've enjoyed it, guys. There's going to be plenty of voices of people that actually know what the hell they're doing. And so I enjoyed it. We'll catch you next week, Rob.
Hey, Case, who ordered the code red?
The what?
The code red.
It's a business decision.
Who ordered the code red, Case?
Hey, we love you, Tom Ball VFW. Can't wait to see you. Drink and
Tom Ball.
State championship, unique trophies. Some of them made right down the road here in Dickinson.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mr. Case Hahn. There was Case Hahn, the co-host of the So Smoking Gooder Show. He is bowing out very nicely, by the way. There he is. Bye-bye,
No,
Case.
joking. I was having fun in your green room. So, all
right, buddy. Thanks for coming on, Bubba. Case is gone. I do not want anybody to go anywhere. We had up to 80 people watching with Phil. So we're going to bring Phil back on. We got Reyes, Sepulveda. He's going to come on from Texas Sweet Heat. We've got AJ Garza from God's Country. Texas Sweet Heat won chicken. He's the chicken champion for the 2022 season in the CBA. We've got the 2022 brisket champion, AJ Garza. We got the rib champion. I think he's back-to-back rib champion, Mr. Robert Smith with First Class Barbecue. I will be on. I am the back-to-back pork champion, and very proud of that. And then, of course, we're going to have the 2022 overall team champion of the year. That is, again, Phil Breeden. So do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break. I am going to go refill my drink, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to have a roundtable discussion talking about all things CBA. Again, we have a lot of new rule changes in here, and we'll talk to these guys about what keeps them up at the top. So 3 minutes. We will be right back. Y'all stick around. Do not go anywhere, or I will hate you forever. See ya.
everybody. This is Aaron, the Retro Guy, host of the Morning Roast Radio Show, and you're locked in to the So Smoking Gooder Show. Give it to them, fellas.
Yes, thank you, Aaron, the Retro Guy. You can find that guy on TikTok in the mornings. Absolutely. That is Aaron, the Retro Guy. All right. 50. Oh, all right. We only lost 10 of you. I only hate 10 of you. All right. Thank you very much for you guys sticking around through the break. Let's give some shout outs to people that are still watching. Tom Fuentes, I mentioned it. Shout out to my Twitch guys and my YouTube people. For those that don't know, we are going to live stream the CBA Awards Banquet on YouTube on this channel, So Smoking Gooder Show YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, please do so. Make sure you click the bell. That'll give you notifications, because Saturday night, don't know, probably approximately 8 o'clock, we are going to go live. We're going to do a live stream from the CBA World Championships, or not the World Champion, but the CBA year-end awards banquet. We will go live. We're going to have Ernest Cervantes. He's going to be emceeing the event. Lots of presenters, and we're also going to be celebrating all of our top teams of the year, and promoter of the year. I think we might have an event rep deal. We've got event, lots of things going to be celebrated, at the year-end awards banquet. So again, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, please do so, and you will be able to see some of the action if you're not able to be there in attendance. All right, Daddy Dutch is still here. Trumpet Master, what's up? Kevin Turner, Daddy Dutch. All right, here we go. Billy Ruff. There's Billy. What's up? He's here to see his buddy. All right, first up, let's bring him back. He's now going to be a pseudo co-host of the evening. We were just talking with Phil Breeden. Phil, I'm going to have you put on your co-host hat because I just kicked Case off the show.
Ego.
We're building it back up. We're up to 60 now. I love it. Thank you guys for watching the show. Phil, you were bringing them in. Let's do it right now. Let's bring the first one in. Reyes, say your name correctly, as I've been butchering it all night.
Sepulveda.
You try that, Phil.
Shit, no. Hey, what's up, Reyes?
What's going on, Phil?
Period.
Reyes, where are you from, buddy?
McAllen, Texas.
All right. And then we're going to bring on somebody from Hondo, Texas. Reyes was the 2022 Chicken Champion Team of the Year. We're bringing on AJ Garza. Let's see if I can unmute his mic. They chose to mute themselves. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
There it is. That's AJ Garza out of Hondo, Texas, God's Country Barbecue, the 2022 Team of the Year in brisket. And then we know all this. We already know this guy right here, Robert Smith. All right, we can hear him. Carissa did a wonderful job in getting your mic back up. We were worried about
There's
that.
no
Man.
silver bullet.
There it is. He is the 2022. Is it back-to-back? Yep, back-to-back rib Team of the Year for CBA. And the last guy we're bringing on, let's do it right now. There he is, the pork Team of the Year.
Rob finally got Rob on Rob's show.
Rob got Rob on Rob's show.
I'm not going to put me in the power rankings.
Not going to put myself in the power rankings. No, I'm not doing that. However, Phil, you're still leading the power rankings for those that want to know. But hey, guys, thank you guys for coming on the show. Reyes, this is your first time on the show. I appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on an amazing year cooking in McAllen. You know how many events you did this year?
Well, thank you for having me. I was excited to be on the show. I thought it was last week. I messaged you. I was like, hey, we haven't done the show. My wife was like, hey, I thought you were supposed to be on. I was like, yeah, I was supposed to be on. And then it wasn't until this week. But, yeah, it was cool. I did about 35 cook-offs this year. And
that's solid.
And I tried to travel as much as I could. I went to San Antonio, I went to Hempstead, Jordanton, Pleasanton. Oh shit! I went to the Refugio. I just tried to go as many as I could out of town, just to go. Because it was my first full year competing. I've never competed in barbecue as a full year. I got hooked because last year I did. I think I started in September. September 11th was my first cook-off.
Wow!
And I had never cooked a pork butt for competition. I had no idea how to do it, and I ended up getting first place in pork butt. And
Nice.
and I
That's the
won,
way it works, don't it?
and I won grand champion the first time that I competed. So then I was like, wow. I mean, I got kind of hooked after that, right? And I didn't even know how the point system worked. I didn't know what I needed to win grand champion. None of that. And so then the following weekend, I went to Rio. What was it? Rio Hondo? No. Yeah, I think it was Rio Hondo. I went to Rio Hondo the following weekend, and I had a catering. I cooked meat for a catering, and I cooked for competition. I took off. I didn't see the awards. I left to do the catering, and I called the guy and I said, hey, how did I do? He's like, oh, we haven't done the awards. We're running late, but I'll let you know. And then he texts me. He's like, bro, you swept it. You swept it. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I thought he was joking with me. He said, you got first in chicken. You got first in ribs. You got first in brisket. I was like, are you serious? And I thought he was joking. But he's like, hey, come pick up your stuff tomorrow. And so I won back-to-back grand champion without even like I was like, wow, I was in shock. And I got addicted. I got addicted after that. And I was like,
you're really hooked. Now you're really hooked. AJ Garza out of Hondo, Texas. Congratulations. You pretty much ran it front to back this whole year. You were leading brisket. A hell of a year, my man. Talk about how many events did you do this year, man?
I think I hit 23.
That's solid for 23 and leading it all the way across from like I mentioned. When did you take over brisket? It was pretty early on in the season.
Yeah, I think it was around March. I think that's when I took over, and then I honestly wasn't. I guess I was going to try and chase points, but I didn't think I was going to be in first that early in the year. And then I was in first. I said, well, let's try and keep it. Let's try and keep that spot the rest of the year. And we hit a couple of cook-offs and start hitting first, second. So after the rodeo, we got third place, and then I think after the rodeo, we didn't cook February, cooked March, hit second in Concan. And probably the next 8 cooks were like a first, second, third place call in brisket. And I was like, all right, here we go.
What'd you hit at the San Antonio Rodeo in brisket? You said
third place.
Third place, man. So that's badass.
No
We'll get to everybody here in just a second, but let's bring on Robert Smith from First Class Barbecue. Back-to-back pork. I mean, not pork. Back-to-back rib champ. That's pretty solid, my man. You got that solid ass rib, man. I know you cooked probably 50 when you're like Phil does. Do you know the number you cooked last year?
52.
52.
Yeah. Really?
He got you.
Okay, it's on this year, Robert. It's on.
But it wasn't all
Robert
CBA.
60, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it wasn't all CBA. It wasn't all CBA. We traveled up north and we did. We went up and did a lot of KCBS, and the whole month of July. And hey, we got a 180 in KCBS. So
What city was it in, Robert?
Sir?
What city was that in? What cook-off?
Illinois.
Oh, in Rockford, or right outside of Chicago?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I did that one last year.
Yeah. It was cool as shit. I mean, it was one of those deals where they call it out and we're just hoping for a good call. And we got a 180.
Greg Minotti, he's making fun of your intro. There's the old smoking so good sure guy. That's a great
Point.
intro.
Point.
Phil has redid his intro. Phil, give him a little clip of what you did this past weekend.
The same one?
Let's hear it.
I'm Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC BBQ, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Reyes and AJ,
time.
we need to get one for you this week. But guys, if you're watching, we got the 2022 champs on. So if you have any questions, there's been some changes on CBA. If you have any questions about their season, do not be shy. Let's talk to these guys and ask away. We've got them here. They said they're going to answer anything. No, they won't, but they might. You never know. You got to ask the question, and we'll see what happens.
So I got a good question here, Rob. If I can interject,
you're the co-host right now. You're the.
I got a question for Reyes. Hey Reyes, so going into this 2023 year as chicken champ, and you gonna still do half chickens? You got something else on the agenda, or what's your thoughts on that?
It's tough. I mean, for now, I think I'm gonna stick to the half chicken and then play around with it and see how it does. I was able to do one cook-off after this year, the new CBA year. I haven't cooked in January, but I cooked in December, and I ended up with third place chicken. So, I mean, I think I'm gonna stick to it and see how it goes. But I am gonna play around with cooking other stuff. Thighs on their own, breasts on their own, just to see.
Start the backup plan, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, it's always fun to play around with new presentations and stuff like that, But
I think you're right on that. I call that run it till the wheels fall off.
Hey, I did that with pork. I mean, I was winning with pork and I was doing it, and then I changed it and I wasn't placing as much. I went back to it and it started, went back to placing. So, it's just one of those trial and error type of deals. But for right now, the chicken has been on, and I'm gonna keep to it.
Yeah, and I'll ask the same question for AJ. Any changes in brisket, or what's the game plan?
I think I'm gonna keep it the same. Billy, my teammate, he's always like, let's put him burn in. So I'm like, man, I don't know about it, because if I don't cook them that good, and that's the first, they get a burn in rather than a slice of brisket, I mean, it could kill me. That's my thoughts. I've heard other people say the same thing. I think I'm gonna keep it the same for now. Maybe, I don't know. This year I changed it up. I'm letting it cook on the offset. I cooked last weekend, and I cooked on the drum. I've only cooked brisket on the drum twice, and one was for Christmas. Came out, I thought it was better than all the other brisket I turned in all year. And then I was like, screw it, let's cook it this weekend on the brisket, and got second place. So
nice. Nothing wrong with making your tool belt bigger.
Yep.
Well, let's go around the horn. If there is some questions, Danny, everyone, what are y'all going to turn in for chicken? I'll go first. I will continue to turn in chicken. No, we'll do. I'm right now. I'm in Reyes' camp. I will. Is that my dog or your dog? That's your dog. I'm in Reyes' camp. I am going to run the halves until the scores tell me to do otherwise. We're coming off a perfect score, and Uvalde doing a chicken half. So things are going well with that. Cocky.
Until the wheels fall off, Rob.
Shout out to some LC BBQ Cocky. That's doing well. That's what I'm going to do. Robert, what say you, my man, on chicken?
Yep. So what we have been running is leg quarters.
Damn it, boy.
Yep. We've been running leg quarters and a little bit of chicken breast, and they've been hell. It's been it's been hitting good.
People tell me, are you slicing that breast? What do y'all guys think? Thoughts on turning in a maybe a presented one and then a sliced one? I think it looks good. I don't know. I think once you start slicing it, maybe it starts the dry out process. Obviously, we put a lot in it to prevent that, but still, it's not going to stay as moist and juicy as if it were whole. But and again, they're still using fork and knife. I saw Peter's question down there. We'll get to that in a minute. Thoughts on slicing, Rob?
We've been slicing those whole loins, man, those whole breasts. It's one judge, one table.
That damn judge. It's always one. There's always one.
There it is.
AJ, chicken. What you doing for chicken, AJ?
I'm probably gonna keep it the same, chicken half. I want to maybe get into thighs later on in the season, but this weekend I'll probably run a chicken thigh.
Not me, but
I mean a chicken half.
Run the thighs, AJ. Go with it.
Do it.
No
it's funny. The more the guys
Well,
that have
if I
been
can't find the chicken, I'll probably get thighs and just run thighs. I mean,
even the thighs are big.
yeah.
So if you do follow LC BBQ, he posted his chicken that he did at the class this weekend, and that was not straight chicken halves. Phil, you want to tell what you guys are working on right now?
Yeah, sure. You got the box ready to throw up there, or what?
I can.
The box.
Yeah,
I can get it ready. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I turned in and what I cooked in the classes is the same thing I cooked at Chupacabra, and the same thing I cooked at Uvalde, and the same thing I cooked at Pitching in the Pines. And guys, I'll answer the same question I have for you. Man, I had the same similar thoughts, man. I finished out 22 CBA Team of the Year, and I didn't really have any thoughts of changing anything. In the week, what actually did it, Rob, was the discussion on your show talking about the boxes and people talking about it, just kind of got the wheels turning in my head, and I'm like, you know what, I might I think I'm gonna cook my half chicken, and I think I'm gonna cook some wings this weekend, and if they're good, maybe I'll turn them in. And I did. I mean, I did really well. I walked, I think, 15th chicken, and I was reserve grand champion at Chupacabra. So, man, I just kind of kept rolling with that ball.
I should be able to pull this chicken up right here. So this is not me just posting a random photo. Phil posted it on his page, and he's just told me to post it up there, so I will post it up. This is Phil's box.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a chicken half laying, looks like bottom right corner to upper left corner, and then he's got a lot of wings in there. That's a full, beautiful box, Phil. What's your thinking behind that one?
My thinking is always put good barbecue in the box. If it's good, it's good. Doesn't matter if it's a wing, a thigh, a leg, a chicken half. Good's good. And when you do that, I mean, I kind of learned that in KCBS. I cooked Banjo Q in 21, which is a huge contest. And man, day 2, my slices were a little over. And man, I had 4 good slices, and the next 2 were trying to break. And I'm like, ditch it. So I turned in burn ends, a whole box of burn ends, which is in the KCBS world, almost voodoo. It's like just a huge chance you take. And I walked 6th place brisket. I GC'd that contest. I won a banjo and a pile of money. So, and those burn ends were really good. The point being, man, if you have good barbecue, don't be scared to turn in good barbecue. Doesn't matter what it is. It's easy to get in your head, like Robert's doing leg quarters. That's cool. Man, he's hitting with them. He's, doing really well. Chicken halves are still killing it. I think the judges are recognizing what the barbecue is and it's good or not. So, that's my thought process.
Tim Kirkendall asked a question. How does a judge choose? I guess he asked that after he saw the chicken box. So a judge can only go in there one time with a fork and a knife. So if they are somebody like I judged brisket last weekend in Hempstead, and I did get a couple of brisket boxes. That's the only category I judged, but I did get a couple of brisket boxes that had the burn ends in the box. So I purposely went in and stuck a burnt end, and I also sliced a piece of the slice off. So I got both with my one time going in the box, and was able to take one bite. With this chicken, I don't know. I think they may have to choose, but there may be some people that are able to cut off some wing, and looking at the box, cut off some wing and maybe some leg. So they can go in one time. If they're able to get 2 of them or get 2 different cuts, then they're welcome to it. With this chicken, you may see some guys go after wings, but like Phil said, he was not going to put them in there unless they're good. So he's confident in both of those. So
yeah,
put them in there.
That's the biggest thing is if you want to put something in the box, you still have to put it in the box. It's still got to be good.
Right.
Got to be gooder. Gooder.
Gotta be gooder. I can't even see. Phil. let me pull this off. There it is. That's much better.
Gooder.
It's got to be gooder. It's got to be gooder.
If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box.
Man, stamp it. Shit, can we get a poster?
If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box. Fuck. Where else can you get such awesome insight other than the Gooder Show right here? If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the
Robert, how'd
box.
you win Rib Team of the Year because
That's
I
right.
put them ribs in the box.
Let's talk about ribs. Robert, you're back to back. You got any secrets for these guys or anything? Maybe a technique that you have really taken to that is helping you become the back-to-back rib champion for 20. CBA's only known one rib champion, and it's you.
Yep. And before that, I was the IBCA ribs champion.
Nice.
It's kind of like a three-peat, kind of.
Yeah. It's you know what? It's tender.
Put that on a shirt. Yeah. If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box. Tenderness. That's the
first class barbecue. If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box.
First class barbecue.
It's gooder.
So tenderness. You're saying that's the key, huh? For rib?
Yeah, tenderness. If you can get that perfect tenderness, that little bite. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, we're all
what do you call perfect tenderness, Robert? Tell us about that perfect tenderness. I mean, just help us understand what you think. I'm not telling how you get that or whatnot, but what is perfect tenderness that you're shooting for, or what you're saying? I mean, obviously in KCBS, there's a certain thing you're looking for, and it's not under and it's not over. It's perfect, right? So what's your perfect tenderness in CBA, at least in your brain, if you care to share?
And it's one of those deals where you just you can pick it up and it's not falling off the bone. It's just
put it in the box.
Wait, do the bite again.
This is the greatest show ever. Get
So
that man a beer. Get that man a beer.
we have a CBA event rep in the house. One of our great ones, Brenda Waters. It's knife and fork tender. I mean, but what does that mean too? I mean, knife and fork tender. Yes, I get it. I think to me a rib has to have obviously very tender, but still have a little firmness. No one wants that just mush thing, in my opinion. I don't know. I've had some guys that have given me their ribs, and I'm like, ooh, that's a little over, but they're sitting there walking ahead of me, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so maybe Brenda, since she's in here, can comment on this. She says knife and fork tender. So Brenda, is there a point where tender is actually over, where they struggle with that knife and the fork, is what we're saying? Or are you saying just make sure it's really tender? That's asking the judge that.
Yeah, she'll comment in a minute. Anna Bryce, a fine competitor out there with East Texas Smoker. She likes falling off the bone. I do love some falling off the bone. In other words, overcooked brisket. We're not talking about brisket yet. We'll get to that in just a minute. Billy Ruff says no mush. No marshmallow mush on a stick.
Now is it spare ribs or baby back?
Oh, there you go, Charles. Marshmallow on a stick.
I've never cooked a baby back rib for a contest. I don't know that I've ever cooked a baby back rib, period. No, marshmallow on a stick.
Any baby back ribs turned in.
What?
And another great words of wisdom and a
no, you're not
from the one and only Robert Smith.
Toothpick tender. This is the shit. Hey, real quick before
Robert up there, he's trying to talk.
All right,
he's showing you the baby back.
He would like to thank his sponsor, Coors Light.
Coors Light. Hey, Robert, before we get any further into this, you traveled to our first out-of-state CBA contest in Pierre Part, Louisiana. Talk about the event real quick, because it was that's pretty significant. It's the first out-of-state CBA event, and that was in Pierre Part, Louisiana. The event went well. You know, we'll get some more participation in there as the years go by. But talk about the venue, talk about the event in itself, and then I have another question to follow up on that.
That was probably one of the best events that I've been to this year. It was amazing. I mean, it was just everything about it. The venue that we went to, where we turned in and everything like that, everything about it was great. I mean, it was just Randy and his wife, Alicia. We turned in, everything was, I mean, it was just great.
Put it in the box.
Yeah, it was great. The venue looked nice. Y'all were right on the water, near the swamp. I mean, I think y'all went on a boat ride afterward. Is this true?
Yeah.
Man, can we take a second, just like intermission, and ask Robert how many CBA records he has? Like, how many CBA records do you think you hold, Robert?
A bunch.
A bunch.
Do you have
I'm
the record?
Pretty sure he's the only one that's ever been bit by an alligator at a CBA contest.
All right.
I mean, it could happen to anybody. I mean, so just as a warning, Robert might have got in there first, maybe got his hands on an alligator. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
I wish I had a picture of the if anybody's got a picture of that, you can message me and I'll post it up there. But I just want to you did get bit by a real alligator in Louisiana on a swamp boat, right? Tell me about this. What happened?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the alligator was in his beer cooler because he was reaching for a beer and got bit.
So the there was a whole lot of guys that were over there, and they took us on a swamp tour, and I was like, hey, swamp tour, and one of the guys may have threw an alligator in the boat. May have threw an alligator in the boat, and I may have grabbed that alligator.
So-called alligator.
Did you think it was fake?
I didn't know. I just reached and grabbed that damn alligator. It was an alligator.
It was going for the Coors Light.
Look,
Let's see the wound.
Put it to the can. Oh, put it on the camera.
I don't have to.
I just
Man,
Don't worry.
Is that the hand you put it
There
in
it
the box
is.
with?
There it is. We saw it. Damn, that was a 30-foot alligator.
Sitting
Somebody
behind
saying
the
it's
camera.
30 foot. He almost took half my arm off. And, I mean, you should have seen him. He come up out of the ground. I mean, I stuck my arm in his mouth to protect everybody else in the boat.
There he is. There shows the gator bite. Man, if anybody has video of this, that would that might surpass the case video right there. Robert, you need some Gatorade, says Bill Purvis, watching on there. Okay, let's get back to some serious discussion, boys and girls, because Brenda Waters, she did comment. All right, my man Phil did ask her a question, and she replied, "Remember the judges," there it is. Now he figures it out once he's off the screen. There he is up there. "Remember, the judges are using a plastic knife and fork. Need to be able to cut it and it stay together." So
Thank you, Brenda.
yep, there you
Great
go.
explanation. So I think
Lynn
that
Foster, wait 10 minutes after turn in and test your extra meat with a plastic knife and fork. Best way to perfect. Yes, but after that, you're that's going for the next event. Where are you going? Where are you going? He'll be back.
You gonna grab a beer? What do you think?
I think he's going to grab a beer. This is the Greg Minotti. This is the best show ever. I agree. It's pretty good so far. All we need is Kit Polk. Kit Polk will be on here next week.
Hey, he's supposed to be on. I sent him the link, Rob, because as Kit says, man, I'm locked out of face crack. He got a new phone and he don't know his login. And I said, man, you can watch it on YouTube. So I sent him your YouTube link. And when you said YouTube earlier, I didn't know if it showed who was on there, but is Kid on there on the YouTube?
No,
he also was.
He has to comment. I can't see unless he comments. Tom Fuentes with the comment of the night after the Gator story. Hashtag stupid beer. Absolutely. Check my messages. All right. I think somebody might have sent something to me. I will check my messages. I want to see. I got the bite here, and I want to see the gator. Does anybody have a picture of the gator? Send me that, and so we can almost a Chubbs moment. Hello, Susie. Nice to see you watching. Let's see, gator hunting. Yes, he's gonna go grab an alligator. Let's see. He's back. I'll get him back on. Did you go grab an alligator?
I had to go pee.
Oh, good.
Watch the teeth.
Good. All right, guys. So we've talked ribs. Reyes, how'd you do in ribs this year? Is that something?
Yeah, I was chasing Robert at the end. I was in third place. I finished third place overall in ribs.
Well, there you go. What do you think about this tenderness discussion? We didn't ask you yet on ribs.
Well, I mean, it's one of those where I'd rather have a over tender rib than a hard rib. You know what I mean?
That's what she said. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, absolutely. AJ, was ribs one of your strong suits this year?
Towards the end of the year, I finally figured them out, kind of like chicken.
Yep.
Here lately, I've been cooking IBCA because I don't know, a lot of them have been close by the end of the year. So I've hit 2 second place.
Wait, did you say easier?
No, we've been closer. Did I say easier? No, yeah, I guess they're easier. I've been doing good.
There you go.
But I got like 2 second place rib calls. I think I got a first place rib call last week. So I think I kind of figured that out, but that's after switching it from the offset to the drum also, and I like the way the drum's cooking them.
Drums are great. Yes, I've had great success on drums. I just got a photo, so I'll post that up in just a moment. And Phil, you didn't talk about ribs. Come on, team of the year. How do you feel about ribs?
Man, I think Brenda kind of nailed it. I mean, and also, I guess either Reyes or AJ, whichever one said, man, I'd rather be on the overside than the under. Under rib, it's probably never going to score good. And I think you can get away with an overdone rib better than you can. But still, there's a fine line between like how far do you take it?
Yes. Oh, okay. I got the.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too over, it's hard to even cut that thing, man. You know
what I've enjoyed, or what I feel like has helped me a little bit, is the visualization of the ribs in a box. Obviously you don't want them too dark. You don't want them underdone. The mahogany works really well, but I've noticed a lot of pepper, right? So pepper, I think the judges, if you're not incorporating a little pepper into your ribs, even only if for appearance, it's going to help you. I think the judges open that up. They see a nice rib. They see them cut nice and neat. And if they see some pepper, I think it's going to help them mentally. I think they're going to visually love to see that. And and if it's, don't put too much in there, it might turn some of the judges off, but at least for a visualization, for them to look at it, open it up, see a nice pretty box, see a nice pretty color, see some pepper. And then if you nail that tenderness, then you're probably walking. That's my take on ribs.
I call it bass boat.
Bass boating?
Bass boating.
Man, I like that, Robert. With the sparkly shit. It's got all the glitter, the flakes, and all that stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. If you ever seen a bass boat go down the water and everything like that. Yep.
How'd it go? One more time. Oh, and he nailed it. Oh, shit. Hashtag bass boat.
All right, we're
coming from the rib champion, the CBA 2022 rib champion, bass boat, baby.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this alligator. We'll see how big this was. I've heard 30 foot. I saw 18 foot.
Man, I've heard 30 foot. I've heard 30 inches. So,
well, let's see. There it is.
Alligator drink.
Hey, this image is sponsored by Coors Light. Hashtag bass boat.
Hashtag bass boat. Just like a bass boat.
Boat right there.
You bass boat. You bass boating son of a bitch, says Mark Suarez.
Just thinking Mark would have been on the boat for some high quality badass images. You'd have a brand new book, Robert.
I was talking to Willie Richards, K&R. He was on the boat and he was telling me all about it. And I was like, man, if I weren't to been helping Phil with the class, and I'm kind of glad that I was, because I love helping my buddy Phil. But I guarantee you my dumbass would have been on that boat, and it might be me having this conversation.
And I feel like alligators are a theme. Rob, you were at the class. I mean, you saw Wally on top of the fridge, right?
Oh, yeah. You did have a big old alligator over there.
I've heard several people said, oh, it was a small alligator. It's a small alligator. Well, guess what? If you get bit by a small dog, bit my dog.
Yeah, man, them Chihuahua teeth are sharp.
I got bit by an alligator.
There you go. All right, so
put it another record.
Put it in the box, says Willie. He's watching right now.
Put it in the box.
Michelle Martinez. I think she's a top 3 rib cook. I don't know. I 100%.
Dog,
Go ahead.
little bitty dog. No, I got bit by an alligator.
Greg's trying to get us in trouble with the FC. Is it FCC? Show us tenderness with y'all's hands. No, we will not. Anna says dark has worked for us. Okay, Anna. Okay, Anna. Dark. No, I'm kidding. Dark has worked for East Tech Smokers. Roddy Trevino's in the comments. Dark ribs rule. All right. I don't know. I just like a little
Rob, don't bring the fetishes into it.
I'm trying not
Wrong
to.
word.
I am trying not to. All right, where else are we at? If barbecue, okay.
Addiction, not fetish.
So you're saying add glitter? Yes, got it.
Got it.
Got it. Add some glitter. Put it in the box.
It could lead to another rule.
Bass boat.
Jackpot alligator. There, Elias, Natural Born Grillers. He's a top 10 team checking in for sure. All right, congratulations. All right, so we've kind of touched on chicken. Most people, except for these two over here, Phil and Robert, they're trying something new. Robert, how'd that double half chicken you put in a box work out for you?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, I thought you did in at Chupacabra. Didn't you turn in 2 chicken halves?
Oh, yeah, but you weren't supposed to tell people that.
Take it back. Take it back.
What the hell?
Forget I said it. You'll forget I said that. My bad. I'm so sorry.
Guess for life.
Don't do that.
I talked about it on the pre-show script.
I'll edit it. Hey, I'll edit it. No one will ever know.
Watch the replay. It was never there. Here you go.
Yeah, he got so mad.
He got mad.
Don't put 2 abs in the box. That's not going to work.
Okay, so he's all right. You didn't do that though. I knew somebody that did do that, and it didn't work out for them. So
Yeah, not at all.
don't put 2 chicken halves in a box. Man, I didn't expect this to be an after show.
What I have done for the past 2 comps is leg quarters and breast.
There you go. Uncle Vic's Barbecue, top 10 team of the year as well. Uncle Vic's, hello. Congratulations to you. Tell us about your pork box, Rob. Okay, I'll tell you guys about pork. Back-to-back team of the year in pork. I got to edge out Phil at the very end. Barely.
Man, I'm going to go to Buffalo. Nah, we'll let Rob have that pork.
So, Bill, you kind of told that story to me this past weekend. Will you tell the story about watching the awards for pork? The only way I could have
I may or may not have done the math once I was super tired, and I don't think it was mathematically possible to be taken over as team of the year. And then I'm sitting first in pork after Lake Jackson. And then I knew Rob's always. I took you over in Lake Jackson, I think, right, Rob?
Yeah, you did. It was.
And
you were 1 week team of the year.
Yeah, and I really wasn't.
Yeah,
I was chasing team of the year, so the categories I wasn't really paying attention to. But man, anytime you can pick up a category win, it's cool, right? And so yeah, you went to Buffalo. I took the weekend off, and we're watching awards, and I'm like, all right. Like I hadn't done the math exactly, but I was pretty sure you had to win pork to beat me. And they are calling pork. I'm like, come on, Rob. How about a 3rd place pork? No 3rd. 2nd? Nope. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I already knew the 1st place was coming, and I'm so used to being broke. Here you go. Cut her off.
Oh, shit. I'm so used to being broke, which is a great song.
And that's what happened. I just cut everything off.
He said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm out.
No, man. Hey, look, you went there, and I assumed that was a goal of yours there, and accomplished that goal. So it's pretty. I mean, it had to make you feel good to go in and do that, right? So
yeah and Robert Smith GC that I wound up RGC in that one, which was great because it was a real huge motherfucking bull show after that. So that was a good time out in Buffalo, Texas. But yeah, pork, man. Pork is something that a lot of teams, I think pork is the one category you can get the most creative with. Even still, now that chicken has opened up a little bit, pork is something that I've always preached. It is something that you can really shape how you want. You can make it sweet, you can make it savory, you can make it spicy, you can make it however you want to, because pork is something to me that doesn't have a lot of flavor. If you were to cook a pork outright without putting anything on there, you're pretty much, even you can even season it. It really has nothing.
It's a blank.
It is a blank canvas for sure. And there's so many options now. You can do whole pork butts. A lot of guys are cooking straight money muscles. For me, pork has worked with A mix. You know, a lot of guys do straight monies. I've done that plenty times. I've done a full box where you put where did he go? I've done where I've done bacon, I've done chunks, I've done money muscles, but settling in, definitely have to have the one constant that stays with me with pork is money muscle. Obviously, if you're not turning in money muscle, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. Somebody asked me, where's Jared? I saw Jared. There it is right there. Sweet pork or savory pork? And to me, you can't, I haven't followed that same recipe for the last 2 years. You got to go sweet in some of the summer months. I think a sweeter one works. In the winter months, I think a savorier one works. I think it changes. And to me, that's one. All my other, don't ask me about brisket. I'm so lost on that. But the ribs and the chicken have stayed with. I've been doing that for the last year and a half plus. Pork is something I'm constantly changing, but the one thing, nail that tenderness, nail the appearance, put yourself in the ball game, and I think you're going to have more successes than not. Hope that made sense. What do you guys think, Phil?
I don't know. You change with the seasons. It sounds like, at least what you said, and man, maybe that's why you beat me in pork. I don't. You know, it's the same thing week in and week out. You know, I got kid poking my ear half the time. I'm judges, you know, they want all the time. So, you know, and I'm just, hey, what are you gonna do? I'm like, man, kid, I'm gonna run the class every week in and week out. You never have to ask me that question. I'm not doing anything different, you know. So for me, that's something I take out of the equation. But you know, it's cool to know that people do that and it works for them. But man, mine's the law of the averages. So. And I feel like I got a program that works any part of the country.
I was nailing them with sweet, and then I would start getting hit with too sweet, and it was the same recipe. So I kind of, after talking with Aaron Leslie from Texas Oil Dust, he kind of told me, hey, you know, he talked to me about the seasons type thing, and maybe in the hotter months, taste buds change or whatnot, or vice versa. So I started kind of offsetting, making it more savory in the winter, more sweeter in the summer. To me, it has helped. And
well, you got to remember my philosophy too, Rob. My philosophy is nothing TOO of anything, right? So
sure, balance
is big in my game, and man, I always call it like, man, we're swerving down a hill country road and we're going shoulder to shoulder, but we're not going off the edges. So
I think it's just consistency throughout the. At first, I thought maybe my brisket wasn't hitting closer towards the hotter days, but I think it was just in my head. I just kept doing what I was doing. You know, reverted back to my notes and started hitting again. I think it's just consistency. I mean, Phil goes everywhere, all over the United States and hits.
Well, Rob was showing beer, so I was showing my drink. Well, we thought we were showing off drinks. See, we're showing off drinks.
Reyes. That's
man, what is that? He'll cut great value.
Great value. What was Robert drinking? I think Carissa pulled the plug. He gone. Shout out to our team.
What was he drinking, Rob? I know what he was drinking.
I'm hydrating for this weekend.
All of them.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert Smith, First Class Barbecue, our back-to-back team ribs champion for the 2022 CBA Team of the Year. Let's see if I got some other questions. Didn't you get a 200 rib? I did get a 200 rib. Yes, I did. Thank you very much for bringing that back up. I love talking about 200. Hey, speaking of 200, if you did earn a 200 score, Reyes, that's you?
Two of them. All
right. AJ, did you get a 200? One. Phil got two in the 2022 season. You will be recognized at our CBA Awards banquet. Let's talk about that real quick before we continue on. We still got, man, thank you guys for sticking around. 66 people still in the house. Thank you guys for tuning into the So Smoking Gooder Show. Again, we are going to do a live video feed from the awards banquet. You're going to see Reyes get his chicken champ buckle. You're going to see AJ with the brisket buckle, me with the pork buckle, and Phil Breeden with the one we all wanted is the Team of the Year buckle. Those will all be available for you to watch. If you're not able to attend the awards banquet, you can make sure you as soon as you're done here, don't leave now, but after the show, and I'll remind you again before we get out of here. Somebody remind me to remind them before we get out of here, and make sure you're subscribed to the So Smoking Gooder Show. Make sure you click notifications because we are going to be going live. We're going to be doing a live stream. Ernest Cervantes is going to be presenting. He's our MC. We're going to have Fred Robles out there presenting. Roddy Trevino, I believe, is presenting. Bill Purvis will be presenting. And then you've got all these guys that are going to be accepting their awards. So it's going to be a good time. We're going to be celebrating our teams of the year, our event reps, our events, our promoters. It's going to be a good time. So I'm excited about this whole weekend. Let's put this up real quick. Where's it at? Right there. We are talking about this weekend in Seguin. It's the Champions Barbecue Alliance CBA World Champion. Everybody lean to the Phil. You lean to your right.
What?
You lean to your right. There you go. Somebody screenshot that.
Hold on.
Somebody,
don't move. Okay, got it.
Send that to me. So we're talking about the Champions Barbecue Alliance CBA World Championship and year-end awards banquets. $25,000 added money. That's added on top of what the event's going to bring in. I've heard $45K ish. So they're going to be paying out 1st through 15th place. So if you guys are not signed up, there is still plenty of time to get involved or to get in on this. It's going to be this weekend in Seguin, Texas, pretty centralized throughout the state of Texas. Lots going on. It's going to be a great time. What else we have for the CBA? We got big checks. I know we're working on still lots of stuff going on, but this is a world championship. We got teams coming in from Mexico. We got teams coming in from Canada. We got teams coming away all the way from Australia that are going to be attending this event. So if you guys are not signed up yet, what are you waiting for, guys? Get involved. Let's get you out there to Seguin, Texas. That's our CBA World Championship, and that's just the cook-off, guys. And then after this is done, after the awards are done, we're going to be celebrating our year-end awards banquet. That's going to be at the Seguin Coliseum in Seguin, Texas. So lots going on. I'm excited about attending this event. Let me pull this down. There we go. Boom. And put this back up.
Yeah, Roddy said 48K, Rob.
There he is. All right. If you're not cooking, go out and judge. Roddy, all right, or 48K-ish. Guys, still going up there. Carlos Calzada knows something I don't know. 122 teams already signed up. Good luck to everybody. Nine Finger Q is going to Vider. Okay, well, you're going to miss out. Come on, Lynn. James Minotti, wish I could make it. All right, if you're coming, put it in the comments. We'd love to see who's watching. 65 of y'all still watching. If you're going to be coming out to Seguin, let us know. Coming out there for some big money, some big checks. It's a big time event. So we've got Friday night is a night of fire. Joey Machado with Texas Original Charcoals bringing out some of his big time pit masters. That's Al Fergoni. Going to be a live fire display. Isaul Ramos from 2M Smokehouse will be out there as well, along with other. I think Uncle Vic's, I heard his name, is going to be doing some live fire for us out there. It's going to be a good one. Yes, Vincent. I saw.
Who's cooking the gator?
Who's cooking the gator? I don't know.
I'm making a phone call to check on that situation. See if I can
find out where he went.
He's probably looking for the gator. He's probably looking for that 18 or 30 foot gator.
We're checking on Robert. We're still on the show. We all had technical difficulties.
The people want to know. Kevin Hernandez.
People want to know.
Kevin Hernandez will be there. Malcolm Kitchen's coming out.
You don't have to, just smile.
Hey, if y'all need any custom cutting boards with y'all logo, I can take them up there. I'll make them and take them up there. So let me know.
There you go. Reyes also has that business as well. Custom cutting boards you can get with Reyes. You can get those done already.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
I think he should just he
need to make yours
to the top first.
Derek Bernal is going to be there as well from Heavy's Barbecue.
No,
what's that?
Yeah, he was saying because he was talking about the free cutting boards for the top teams.
Fat Boy Barbecue, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. I'm planning on going to judge, trying to get
Rob
the inside
coming
track.
in from the barbecue sidelines. I got us a Robert Smith update.
Is he okay?
He gone.
He gone? All right,
gone.
Bo Daniel.
No, not
What's up, Bo? Manuel Moreno. All right, guys. Yes, I have a question about the World Championship title. Does a grand champion win a world? No, not yet. Not yet. It does not. Well, I'm sure we're working on that, but no, it does not get you into the Royal yet, or the Houston Rodeo yet, or the World Food Championships. But down the line,
that's not what she's asking, Rob.
What is she asking?
Yeah, throw it back up there. That she didn't ask that. She just said, does the grand champion win a world title like the American Royal, Houston Rodeo, or World Food?
Absolutely.
So I interpret that as are you a world champion if you win it?
You are absolutely a world champion if you win it. Yes, 100%. You will be considered a world champion. There's going to be teams from, like I mentioned, Mexico, Canada, and Australia.
And you got Smoking on the Rio coming up, also a world champion, right?
Smoking on the Rio is coming up February 10th.
Rob, I'll comment on that for just a second.
Go ahead,
I've traveled all over the country, and it's nice to see some world championships in Texas. In my honest opinion, the only contest that a Texas cook can, in theory, go after for a world championship is almost the American Royal. Super hard to get to the Jack from Texas. And Memphis in May, it takes a lot of money, and so does Houston Rodeo. So the traditional world championships, man, the American Royal is almost the only avenue. So to see a couple more world championships pop up and they be from Texas is awesome for Texas cooks.
Tim Kirkendall, Reyes, how do I send a logo for cutting board?
Just look for me on Facebook, Texas Sweet Heat Barbecue. Just inbox me.
There you go.
Send it over.
Anna, what makes it a world title? What makes it a world title is 122 badass MFers, but what makes it a world title is we have teams coming. We have international teams. All right. See, Seguin is the new barbecue capital. I don't know. I did see some. Thank you, Phil, for the answer. There you go. All right. That's why he's the honorary co-host of the evening. All right. We did not have we talked brisket in depth yet? No. Let's AJ talk about brisket. Maybe what can get some of these guys up there in the top there doing some brisket.
Brisket selection. I didn't cook anything less than a prime. That was the biggest thing. Like I wouldn't go to comp without nothing less than a prime. I cooked probably a lot of Wagyus most of the year just because I wanted to stay up there. So I wanted to if I went to a small comp, if I knew it was gonna be like a little small comp, I'd take a prime. But if I was going to some of these big comps, I took a Wagyu. But brisket selection is gonna be the biggest thing. I saw Greg earlier in the show. He asked if what I take it to. My tenderness. My process is I cook my brisket until it looks nice. So I get that nice bark, and then I'll wrap it, and then after that I'll let it roll until it's probe tender. I'll pull it off, and then I'll rest it. There's only been once. I think that was the first time I was on the show. Was whenever I didn't have a chance to wrap or to rest, and but that. I do the same process every week when I go to cook off, and it seems working.
Again, if we ask questions you don't want to answer, just say. But are you wrapping in foil, or butcher
foil.
paper, or are you panning it? Or are you individually wrapping them? Foil.
Yeah.
In a pan.
In a pan. Yeah.
Okay. Brian Fox, he answered that. He uses both depending on the size. There he is. Phil's back. He uses both prime and or Wagyu. AJ Garza, what happened to your beard?
I got a promotion now. I'm in an administrative role now, so my chief said that I couldn't have my long beard.
Man, it really sounds like a demotion the way you just answered that.
yeah, it does. So
good for you. Congrats, man.
Is resting a must? Phil, take that question.
Phil.
No, I don't think it's a must. I mean, it's been a rare situation that I've got a brisket finishing up with no rest time, but no, that still hits. I believe in hot briskets, so Even if you're resting, be careful not to rest too long, because at some point, man, you continue to tighten up and go the wrong way.
Yeah.
Kevin, AJ, is there a particular place you're getting your briskets from?
Here lately, probably the last half of the CBA year, I was going to Chupacabra.
Yeah, I hijacked that though. I talked to Matt, and then he's feeding me your briskets now. So sorry, AJ.
The wifey's in the comments. Don't bring up the beard. She said. Yeah. She said.
Yeah, I almost got kicked out.
Derek, your buddy, AJ's brisket is usually too smoky.
Yeah, usually we'll go to comps and I'll ask Derek, hey, how does it taste? He's like, too smoky, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna hit.
Oh shit, he's running Kit Polk's recipe apparently.
Roddy, your chief is jealous he can't grow a beard. Yeah. Maybe so. So Phil, while you're out, somebody was asking about the tenderness game on a brisket. Obviously we all want that perfect tenderness, which is sometimes hard on a brisket because sometimes that brisket will just kind of sit there.
So what was the question?
Question is where you what tenderness are you looking for?
Man, my tenderness in brisket is the same in CBA, IBCA, Lone Star, KCBS, you name it, and it's tender, super tender, and it stays together.
There you go, super tender, it stays together. Reyes, you want to talk? Don't ask me about brisket.
As far as tenderness goes,
yeah,
I mean, I think we're all the same. Where you want it where it's tender and moist, but yet it's not breaking apart. But it's the same for me. It's the same as ribs. I mean, where I'd rather have an overcooked brisket than an undercooked brisket. I know it screwed me up over there in Hempstead, where I got first place chicken in Hempstead, and I knew I jacked up my brisket, and it was just a little tough. And so, if you ask me after that cook, I just said, you know what, I'd rather have overcooked brisket than undercooked, because I was messing. I was cooking it.
You're right, Reyes. I mean, under on any meat, man, you're not going to do well. So agreed. Over is always better. So
CBA starting in December has now opened it up. You can turn in burnt ends. Jamie Roby, burnt ends, yes or no? I have no problems turning them in if I know how to cook one, and so far not yet.
For me, on the burnt ends, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna be like Phil, where I'm gonna try it. And if it tastes good, I'm turning it in. And if it ain't, I just don't. It's the same thing with the pork. If I try different things on the pork and I taste it before I turn it in, and if I don't like it, I don't turn it in. If I do, it's going in the box.
AJ, I think you answered that earlier. You just
I kind of answered. I mean, I'll try it. I mean, I think if I taste them before I put it in the box and they taste good, I might put them in.
Man, I've turned them in every time I've cooked since the rule changed.
Yeah. All right, I'll put them in this weekend then.
There you go. Where's the buckle, AJ?
I don't know. Ask Roddy. I asked Roddy about it. I haven't heard nothing back, Roddy.
Roddy. Somebody wants to know where his buckle's at. Roddy's in the comments. Roddy is on it. I have total faith in Roddy. He will answer your question now that it's public.
What about you, Jamie? Jamie asked the question, yes or no. What's Jamie's answer?
Jamie, answer the question. What are you doing? I think somebody posted Jamie's box, or maybe Jamie posted his own box, but
he did, and I think it was shared, and Jamie had a badass box.
What is that, Codigo?
This? No. It's Otima. I don't even know how to say that, but it's port.
It's pork?
Port.
Yeah, you sound like Robert Smith now. Pork? No, port. Port.
Roddy, you can't say I wasn't the promoter for that event if he contacted you to find out about it. So please answer AJ on that. Reyes, talk about your let's reflect back on your season right now. How do you kind of touched on it earlier, but overall, give something. Maybe you can give a couple minutes on what your experiences was or is in the CBA, and how your this past successful season went for you.
It was a fun year. I mean, that's all I can say. I tried to travel as much as I could. I wanted to meet new teams. I wanted to go out there and compete with the best, and that's what I did. And so, as far as the point chase goes, I hit a lot of bigger cook-offs, than the small ones, and maybe it could have cost me a few points here and there, but I don't regret it because I got to meet a lot of cool people on the way. I was out there cooking with Uncle Vic and Derek from Heavies and AJ. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Vicente and his wife. I think I cooked a few with Phil, so it was fun just meeting everybody, talking to everybody, and it's just the barbecue community is just unlike anything else, where people are so nice and they invite you over, have a beer with them, and I love it, and I'll do it again. I'm going to try to cook as much as I can this year, but I know I probably won't cook as much as last year.
I got to tell you, I took notice of you when you traveled up north to, and I want to tell you, that's pretty cool that you are able to travel and you're able to go and kind of spread your wings a little bit throughout the state. But I took notice of you in San Antonio at the Texas Trophy Hunters, which is a big time event. A lot of teams out there, a lot of solid teams out there to go to that event. And you walked all 4 categories, and we were like, who the hell is this guy? And that's when we all took notice of you. And I think that's kind of when you started making your run, because that was back in March of last year, and you kind of ran with that after that, man. But to walk all 4 categories at that event was pretty solid. What do you remember about that day?
That was a crazy day, man. I remember getting there, and it was so crazy because I'd never before that I had never filmed anything, and when we were getting to the venue, I told my wife, hey, film this, because if we win grand champion, we got something. And so she filmed the entrance and everything like that. And then we're coming in, and I saw all these teams, I saw you, and I saw just everybody was there, and I said, man, there's a lot of good teams here. This is cool, and this and that. And then when we went to the awards, they were taking a little while. I mean, it was a big cook-off, so it was taking a little while. We're kind of getting a little anxious, and finally we started going, and we get a third place chicken call, and we're like, awesome, sweet, man, we got a call. That's what we want, And I was good with one call. And an event like that, I was happy with one. And then ribs come up, and we got 4th place ribs, and then a 4th place pork call, and we're like, man, if we can just get a brisket call, I think we got this in the bag, And we get 9th place brisket, and it was just amazing, man. It was amazing. The people clapping and everybody saying, "Oh, there goes grand champion," before it was even announced.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool as hell.
Yeah. So Reyes, I have a couple questions for you, and it's nice hearing your story like that. And when did you say your first contest was?
Last September. September 11th. What was it? What's 21?
So that's roughly a year and a half deep, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Correct.
And you've had a huge amount of success straight out of the gates. And you're traveling far. You remind me of myself when I started cooking. I had success early, and then, man, I started traveling. I was all over Texas, and, you're going to different regions. So 2 questions for you. And we asked one earlier, was to me and who I looked up to as far as cooks when I was going through those phases. I'd ask you the same question through that year and a half, your inspiration of the cooks you look up to or strive to be like, and also doing all that travel, different parts of Texas. Are you changing anything depending on where you go for your meets, or are you running the same program?
As far as who I look up to, I mean, just like you did, you mentioned Arnie. Arnie's been big. I mean, I try to talk to him. I have his phone number. I call him. He lives down the street from me because he's over here in McAllen too. So I was with him the other day. I went to go drop off a cutting board to his house, and we were talking there for a while. And so, any time that you can just talk to somebody with that much knowledge, and you just take it all in, and it's one of those where you just got to be humble and be able to just take in that information that anybody's giving you, because we're all great cooks, and everybody's got a little a piece of information that might be that missing piece for your, another grand champion or whatever it is. If right now your brisket ain't hitting and somebody's talking about their brisket being on top, and you take that advice and use it next time, that might be you walking next time. So it's one of those things that's pretty cool to get insight from everybody. Somebody else that kind of he's been around for a long time, and we're always poking fun at each other, and we're always but is Elias Quiroz from Natural Born Grillers, man. He's before I entered the cook-off circuit, I was setting up selling cutting boards with him while he was competing. And so, we talk and stuff like that. He kind of guided me on getting my barbecue pit, with the same guy he got it with. And so he's helped me out, and we're friends, and we're always hanging out, poking fun at each other. Like I said, throwing little daggers here and there because we want to beat each other because we're local here. So we're always competing against each other.
Yep.
And as far as I'll go compete anywhere that I can. If I can go out to Austin, or I can go out to, and I like to go to new places, new towns, new cities, meet new people, meet new cooking teams, and it's just fun doing all that. So I'm as long as I can, I'll continue to do that.
Nice.
Great answer.
And that's great. Keep up the great work and the success. And when I see your tight circles, similar to mine, starts where you live, and then expands out. And you're right, man, just traveling all over. I mean, I'll expand it further than that if you ever choose to go out of state. But, man, the barbecue community, man, it doesn't end just within Texas, man. Every other state, they're doing the same thing, and they're people just like us. And man, that was fun for me in 21 to cook in 17 different states and meet all those different people. And, man, it's just like Texas, except, a lot bigger. So
yeah, and I think Chris Davis won reserve grand champion with me over there in San Antonio, and so we became friends, and he actually reached out to me and told me, hey, you want to do the what is it circuit with KCBS, and if you ever want to do it, you more than welcome to join me. So I've thought about it, but for me, it's a little bit different because you guys are a little bit more centralized. You're like in the middle. Yeah. I'm over here deep South Texas, so every time I go up, it's a drive, man. Going to Seguin for 4 hours.
Talk to Fred about that. Fred did that run.
Yeah, Fred has his own jet and he flies.
Fred's got jet money. We all got barbecue money.
That's the second time you used that in the last couple weeks, Phil.
I'm gonna wear it out till the wheels fall off, Rob.
Let's see real quick. Reyes, congratulations on a tremendous year. It's pretty awesome to see your growth and just to hear you've been at it since 21. That's freaking amazing, and much success, continued success. And we'll see you this weekend, but you're not going anywhere. Real quickly, we're gonna talk to AJ real quick. AJ, congratulations to you, my man, on an amazing year as well. Like I said earlier, you kind of ran the table on brisket the whole year, starting in March throughout the entire. People were having a hard time trying to catch you. I know Vincent Regino tried his best, but you held him off, man. Talk about your season.
Ditto to what Ray said.
That's right.
No,
Vincent right there.
It was like he said. I mean, it was fun. Like I said, I plan on chasing points, but I didn't expect to be first that early in the year. And we just continue, So at that point, it was like, well, let's go. Let's chase a lot more. So then we started going out. Went to Waco, went to Lake Jackson. We just traveled everywhere and chasing first. It was always a top. I always wanted a top three. It was like a top three. And we did that for a majority of the year. There are some, where we didn't walk at all, and I mean those suck. It sucks when you don't get out of your chair. Those kind of hurt, but it's like, hey, we'll hit it again next week. You can't. And I told Derek, me and Derek, we're really close, so we'll pitch stuff back and forth. And I remember telling him after Concan, I was like, man, this sport would make you humble real quick. You'll be at a cook off, and you won't get up at all. I remember going to New Braunfels, and we'd been walking, like religiously every cook off. It was something we were walking in, whether it was brisket or not chicken, but pork or ribs. We're walking, and then all of a sudden, you don't get out of your chair, and it's like, damn, what happened? But it'll make you humble real quick. The guys that you meet, everybody, like I said, the first time when I was on the show, you never meet somebody, with a bad attitude, at least I haven't, maybe somebody's had a bad experience out there, and, sucks for them, but every person that I've met, or every person that's come up to my camp, it's always been, like a long, like a friendship, like I can go to another cook-off and then it's like we knew each other for 5 years. So, I mean, it's just the camaraderie that we have, in this sport, it's amazing.
When was your first cook-off, AJ?
It was in September of 2019, and it was here in Castroville. I cooked that one, got an 8th place brisket, and then that was it. I got the bug.
Got the bug.
Got the bug.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your season. We will see you this weekend on Friday. Let's see here. Who else? I got to ask Mr. Robert Smith. I think he's coming back in, guys, real quick. He's going to say goodbye to all of us. And there he is right there. Robert Smith. Robert Smith back in the house. How are you doing, my man? Robert and his gay tour. Phil's not even. Phil, you're not even watching. There's Robert.
I'm trying to get the computer plugged in. We're about to lose power.
Oh hell, we can't have Phil lose power. But shout out to Robert Smith, our back-to-back rib champion. Had an amazing season as well. I'll say a few words as far as representing the pork. I just want to say a few words. Thank you everybody that cooks CBA, that supports. Let's let Phil get back up and plugged in away from there. He is. Is he back?
Hey, and then before I finish my little talk,
go ahead, AJ.
I want to give a shout out to my partner Billy. He's helped me out a lot, throughout these every cook, especially on the brisket. That's his favorite one. And he helps out tremendously. But I couldn't do it without his sponsorship with this company, with the Clark Asphalt. So I just wanted to give a thanks there, because they did help out a lot, with this year's success.
Yep. All right, Reyes, I didn't ask you. Anybody want to give a shout out to before we get?
Yeah. I wouldn't have the first place chicken. I don't want to say this because I don't want to give my secret out, but shout out to the wifey because she's the one behind the #1 chicken. We were on a roll with chicken to start off, and then it kind of fell off. I was doing some other stuff, and so she got upset because we hadn't been hitting the chicken. And she just said, "You know what? You're gonna practice here at home." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to practice." She's like, "No, you're gonna practice, and you're gonna practice your different recipes, and I'm gonna taste them. I'm gonna tell you which was good." And so we did that. We tasted. We ran 3 different recipes, and she said, "No, we're gonna go with this one." And after that, man, it was just nothing but top 3, first, second, third place chicken, and we're able to wrap it up at the end. So shout out to my wife for being the best at choosing a recipe and putting me in line, keeping me in line, because a lot of the times, we like to experiment and we kind of run off from what we're doing, and she makes sure that she puts me in line.
Well, Reyes, that's good to hear. And Rob, I know you got a wife that supports, and as well as I do. AJ, does your wife get in there? She cook with you?
So she's fixing to start cooking this year.
Woohoo!
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, so she'll be on the trail later on this year. She's been, I don't know. She's been watching me, so we'll see.
Yeah. So she gonna start helping you with the meats, or get in on some ancillaries like dessert or
well, she started doing desserts in March. She did dessert. She's like, I want to try dessert, and she got a first place dessert out of 60 something. And so then the end of this year, she said, "You know what? I don't know where we're at. We're at some cook-off." She's like, I can beat you. And I was like, whatever. And then that's where she's like, you know what? Next year, I'm gonna do it. So,
Sylvia's got a great comment. Barbecue is total different language, but those who speak the language live in a world filled with so much love and life. Everyone has a story to tell. Congrats to you all. Thank you, Sylvia.
Very nice.
Thanks for tuning in. That's a new name I haven't seen on here. Michelle Martinez, badass. Coming for you, AJ. The wifey is in there.
Rob.
Awesome. I love seeing women cook. Who said Rob?
I did.
Go ahead.
That's the wifey.
Where's she at?
Sylvia
popped it up.
Oh, that's your wife. That's your wife. All right, good. That's your wifey. All right. I was going to say, I just want to thank everybody who's cooking CBA, who's coming out there and competing each and every weekend with us out there. I think it's this league is growing. It's becoming a force out there. You can see some of the teams that are attracted to CBA, and the CBA is attracting out there. I think the organization is definitely on the right track. We're doing things right, and it's going to culminate here in this weekend, year end of 2. So we're going to have our year-end celebration this coming weekend. Lots going on. Check-in is Friday in Seguin, Texas at the Seguin Coliseum. Starting at 8 a.m., you're able to start checking in. We're going to have Friday night. It's a night of fire. Again, Texas Original Charcoal. These guys right here. Shout out to Joey Machado. He's going to have some live fire cookers out there. Isaul is going to be out there from 2M Smokehouse. Al Fragoni. I believe Uncle Vic. I don't know if he said he was going to be, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be out there doing some live fire cooking for us as well. We're going to have a team potluck. So if you guys can hear my voice and you're going to go out on Friday, and you may not have heard this, but I think we're encouraged to bring a dish Friday night and have like a team kind of social hour potluck on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday, we all get down to business for the CBA World Championships. $25,000 added money. What did Roddy say we were up to? I think he mentioned in the comment
48K.
48K paying out through 15th place. Big checks are fun. Shout out to Bill Purvis. I believe he created some really nice checks to give out.
Man, 2 things in competition barbecue. Big checks don't get old, and buckles don't get old.
Buckles
whenever you get them.
Yeah. Buckles.
Man, put the frame picture around your waist and strap it to the belt, AJ.
Somebody remind me what Robert said earlier. If it's good, put it in the box or
Put it
whatever.
in the box.
Whatever.
What I'm gonna do is, if actually you put them in the box, put them in the box.
Buckles and big checks, says Roddy. Yeah, so 48K guys paying out 1st through 15th in all categories. Roddy, what are we paying for the overall out there? That's going on for the CBA World Championships. Again, it is a world title. So if you win that, congratulations. You are a world champion. Fred Robles is going to be cooking some prime rib. If you are going to the banquet, we're going to have a world champion. Mr. Fred Robles, president of CBA, will be cooking prime rib for our dinner out there. So that does not suck. For sure, we're going to have Ernest Cervantes. He's our MC for the evening. We're going to have a bunch of other presenters going on. Lots to celebrate for our second year, our year-end celebration. So, guys, there is still time to get in for the contest. You can contact CBABBQ.com. I believe there's a registration link on there. What else over there? We will be live streaming the event. I will be live streaming from the So Smoking Gooder Show YouTube page. Hopefully they do not cut that out because there will be music involved. But if you aren't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can look us up at So Smoking Gooder Show, just like you found us on Facebook. A lot of you guys are watching from YouTube, so make sure you like and follow and hit that subscribe button or hit that notification button, because we're going to go live sometime Saturday night, probably around 8 o'clock. And for those that are not in attendance, you'll be able to watch the really cool event that we have planned for this celebration. So, again, shout out to everybody that's cooking CBA. We appreciate you guys very much. And I can't think of anything else that I can think of before we get out. I do want to give a shout out to my wife, Diane. She's a big supporter, big teammate of mine that has definitely, once she really got involved with me and started doing all of our brines, injections, and whatnot, it's really taken our game to another level. I want to give a shout out to Phil Breeden, who is watching right now. He's definitely helped, and I've been friends with Phil now, probably going on 6 years, and it's been a great relationship, partnership, and I want to give a shout out to LC BBQ for all that you've done for us as well. So, man, Team of the Year port back to back is awesome. Buckles are always awesome. We'll everybody on this show, even Mr. Robert Smith is going to get a buckle as well. I hope you guys are excited about that. It's going to be a great time, a great celebration. And for all of you guys that are watching, 2 hours and 15 minutes in, I can't thank you guys enough. Continue to support this show. We will continue to bring guests like these guys on here, Reyes, AJ and Phil, Robert Smith, even the guy who ordered the code red, Mr. Case Hahn out there. We love doing this show for you guys. We love talking barbecue. We love showcasing some of these up and comers. Like AJ's been on the show. Reyes, I should have had you on earlier, my man. Derek Bernal's been on the show. Vincent, I'm just talking about.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead, say one more thing.
I buckle this year.
What's that?
I said I told you I was going to win a buckle this year.
There you did. You did tell me you were going to win a buckle, and you did it, my man. You did get your buckle.
Well, for the team of the year is what I'm talking about.
I know, and you did it.
Hey Phil. Phil.
Yes, sir.
Your perfect scores. What categories were they in?
Man, I don't know.
Crazy how competition barbecues changed. Absolutely, it has changed. Awesome show. Go Gators. There she is. There's Carmen. I'm sorry. Manuel, we'll see him Friday. Daddy Dutch, thanks for being first in, and you're still hanging out. Great show. Anna Bryce. Anna, are we going to see you this weekend? I believe we are. Great show, guys. Cheers to the weekend. That's right. Yes, she loves you too, Carmen. Love Diana Arocha. Yes, we all do. All right, man. I think let's get some walkout music right here, and it won't be that I'm so used to being broke.
Please be code. Please be code.
It's gonna be.
No, it's gotta be code.
It's gonna be the show walkout. This is the So Smoking.
It's really good music, but not better than Coach.
That's
You
right.
do the recap.
Let's do this real quick. I like this guy right here.
Hey there, everybody. This is Aaron the Retro Guy, host of the Morning Roast Radio Show, and you're locked in to the So Smoking Gooder Show. Give it to them, fellas.
And we got to have Phil's play the clip.
What about the recap?
And we need what? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. We want to continue.
Hey, everybody. Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC BBQ, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show. Don't get old. That's the other thing you know. 3 things don't get old: buckles, big chats, and the clip.
Willie Richards, see you this weekend. K&R, he's here. Big sponsor of the event this weekend. Thank you, Willie. Appreciate K&R Pipeline. Thank you very much. Terry Breeden, that's Phil's mom. She's watching as well. Tim Kirkendall, what is the dress code? Yes, wear clothes. That's all pretty much. Pretty much what? Oh, she wasn't coming, but we think we are now. All right, get signed up. Greg Minotti, best yet. He said beat yet, but I know what he meant. Best yet. I agree. This has been a pretty good show. We've had a pretty good weekend, Mr. Phil. We've had a couple of pretty good weekends, haven't we? What else we got in here? Great show, guys. See y'all Friday.
Man, Rob, if you forget, I'm going to punch you when I see you.
We're not. Hold on. Short. I was not going to do the bullprint, not the bull. Yeah, the bullprint graphics wrap up recap. But we're going to go to Eagle Pass, Texas, an IBCA event. I don't even know what event it was. What was it?
I don't know.
Eagle Pass event, IBCA Eagle Pass kickoff.
Eagle Pass, IBCA Grand Champion, AJ Garza of God Country Barbecue. And the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads upcoming event segment. We're only talking one this weekend. That's going to be the CBA World Championship in Seguin, Texas. If you're not already signed up, you still can get signed up for the event. I'm not sure that we still have tickets for the banquet, but ask Roddy. I bet you Roddy will sneak you in. That guy's sneaky over there. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Shout out to Robert Smith from First Class Barbecue, Reyes, Sepulveda.
You get it right.
Sepulveda. I said it finally. Texas Sweet Heat Barbecue, AJ Garza from God's Country Barbecue, Case Hahn from Katie's Cosmic Cookers, Rob Arocha sitting here from So Smoking Gooder Show and Bullhorn Barbecue, and our 2022 CBA Team of the Year and honorary co-host, Mr. Phil Breeden. from LC BBQ, guys. That's going to wrap up the show. Thank God it's over. Jaybird, where you at, Jaybird? We miss you.
Wear clothes to the banquet, Jaybird.
Yeah, Jaybird, wear clothes. Wear clothes. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. For everybody, thank you very much. Thank you guys for sticking around for 2.5 hours. Appreciate it. And next week, Kit Polk, the most interesting man in barbecue. That's for 100% sure.
Gotta be there.
He'll be on the show next week. Good luck, everybody. And that's it. We'll see all of us on the stage this Saturday.
Night,
all right.
Great
Good night,
show.
guys. We're out.
Night, guys.
See ya.